Hey, how's it going? Today we're going to discuss the latest major order and go over the message briefing. I'll showcase concept designs introduced during the creation of Helldivers 2 and cover much more. If you want to stay updated, feel free to tap the like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss out on the daily news. Alright, Helldivers, we recently failed the latest major order due to the Illuminate ramping up their invasions. They recently attacked 4 different planets as of yesterday, and the squids were in 3 different sectors, which is by far their biggest attack yet. Before we dive deeper and talk about the Illuminate, I want to briefly go over the new message briefing. As always, if you're nowhere near your console or a computer, allow me to read the latest message briefing, which can be seen here. It says, "The Illuminate campaign of terror continues unrestricted. Even the resurgent DSS deployed with unassailable precision by the Helldivers was not enough to repel the tide of xeno-autocracy. Millions of colonists have perished, and untold more have been corrupted into voltless servants. Reports from DSS technicians indicate no significant negative impacts to the system following the implementation of increased movement frequency. The faster movement is now standard operating procedure for the station. Performance reviews and additional improvements are ongoing. The Illuminate remain hidden. There can be no doubt that some larger scheme is at work, but it has yet to reveal itself. The citizens of Super Earth will never be safe until the Illuminates are hunted down and destroyed." There's a few things we'll talk about here, but first off, I have a feeling the Illuminate are cooking up a plan, but the question is, what's their goal? The monoliths have been discussed in the community, but we don't know exactly what they're used for. A few Helldivers have assumed that the squids are using it to possibly communicate with their homeworld or wherever the Illuminate exists. However, there's no concrete evidence to confirm this. On that note, I'm sure you've noticed that the monoliths will actually blow you up if you touch them. I tried to see if there was a way to prevent this, and there is, if you use a shield backpack. With the Illuminate to the side, we know that within this failure message, they talk about how there's going to be some performance reviews and additional improvements are just ongoing. So it looks like the DSS will be improved further, and I know a lot of you were quite disappointed with the recent update with it, but to be fair, it's a lot better now than it was previously. Speaking of which, once the developers update the DSS more, I'm sure you guys are going to just fall in love with it. I think over time it's going to get better and better. Even though it wasn't that great in the beginning, it looks like the developers are trying to constantly improve it and just add a bunch of great things to it. So even though it's not liked now, I think you guys are going to enjoy it later on. Now, there is a question I had asked previously. It was basically, if you guys could add one feature to the DSS, what would it be? But I would like to also know, what would you change about the DSS? What would you add or change about it that would possibly make it better? If you can, let me know by commenting down below and let's talk about it. We're now going to move on and talk about the Eruptor because there's actually a meta that you can try out right now. It's a great tip and trick. So all you have to do is pretty much grab the Eruptor, shoot it, switch to a different weapon, and instantly switch back, and it will fire right away. Now, this was not discovered by me. It was discovered by this person on the Helldivers 2 Reddit page. If you didn't know about this either, then there you go. It's a great tip, and man, it just makes things a lot smoother. You can actually use this in-game. I mean, you don't have to stand still like I am doing here because, of course, this is just an example just to show you the comparison between the two. And it's great because you can take out multiple enemies, switch back, and just instantly fire away just like I mentioned. It's a great tip. Next up, we have another tip. This one I was not aware of either. If you guys didn't know, then this might be new to you. If you didn't know, there's actually crates not just on the bug planets or the bot planets, there's actually some located on the Illuminate maps. See, I didn't know about this, and I've always ran past them. I never checked it once until I saw a post right here. And when I tried to find it, it seemed rare for me. I couldn't find it no matter what. It just wouldn't spawn. So if you guys didn't know about that, then there's another great tip. Alrighty, continuing along, we're now going to take a look at some concept designs for Helldivers 2. What we're going to see here is just a bunch of artwork and just concept designs from Tor. If you guys don't know who he is, he's a concept artist at Arrowhead, and man, it's just phenomenal. Now, before we take a look at the concept designs, I just want to quickly say thank you to Tor for giving me permission to talk about this. I first off wanted to ask him before I just started, going over it without his permission. So thank you just specifically to him. Also, any concept art that we talk about is strictly just concepts. It's not confirmed. It's not going to happen. It's not like they're just going to add this in the game randomly or anything like that. So now that we have went over that, let's go ahead and check out the first concept, which is the Galactic War Map. As you can see right here in this image, there's a bunch of planets, just like what we see now with the Galactic War Map, except it's completely different from what we have now. Obviously this looks a little bit smaller, but that's all due to concept design, right? They're just kind of throwing ideas out there. There's also this other one, which just looks unique too. We can tell that there's the planets again, and the Galactic War Map table has a grid that's just straight across. Maybe they were thinking at the time to make a square map, essentially, or a rectangle map. I couldn't tell you. Again, this is all concept designs. It's not like this is confirmed. It's not like they're switching anything up. Just reassuring you guys that this is all just concepts. Also, there is one more image here, and this one just looks crazy detailed with the way the map looks. Yeah, so let's continue onwards. This is another concept design of their ideas of what the Super Destroyer would look like inside. It's a lot more lengthier, to be honest. Kind of have like this bridge in the background. Okay, on to the next image here. This one is supposed to be some sort of living bug organism. However, this, I would assume, wouldn't have been an enemy. Instead, it would have been just like some sort of environmental damage, right? You know how you run into a spiky plant, or if you have one of those plants that just blow up and shoot you away. Possibly it would have been something like that. But instead, this is actually just like some sort of living bug organism that could shoot out, I'm assuming, spikes, or maybe it would touch you and then just cause damage. This would have been incredible to see in game. Hopefully that's something they'll take a look back on and be like, you know what, this is a great concept design and we should throw it in game. I think living bug organisms would be cool to see. And you know, now that I'm thinking about it, it wouldn't just be cool to see something like this. It would be cool to see different creatures and alien life on planets that can attack you and cause damage to you, not just, you know, the random NPCs or, you know, random Illuminate enemies or whatnot, right? It would just be awesome to have a living being able to just attack you randomly. What I'd like to know is, what are your thoughts about a living organism? What do you think about alien life? Would you like to see something like that on a planet? Let me know what you think about these concept designs. Last but not least, we have this last concept design, which is about different types of weapons. The bottom one for me stands out the most because we don't have a lot of sniper rifles. I believe we only have one. We have another one that's called the counter sniper, but it's more so considered a marksman rifle, so it's definitely nothing like this, right? I mean, it's definitely nothing like what we have recently with the plasma sniper. Overall, we could tell they had a lot of ideas when it came down to weapons, the Galactic War Map table, the actual Super Destroyer. I mean, gosh, there's just a lot of cool stuff here. Nevertheless, I just want to give credit to Tora again for giving me permission to talk about this. I messaged him and he was just gracious enough to just allow me to talk about it. So again, kudos to him and thank you. If you guys want, you can check out the rest of his concept art down below. All the sources are there. Alright, moving away from what we've just talked about. Yesterday, I asked another great question. I said, hey, if you could add one new feature or crossover to Helldivers 2, what would it be? You guys responded with this. We have Ninja Strike that really wants a Hive Lord, and so do I. Someone, I believe here, actually recommended a Dark Fluid version, which sounds crazy. We have another suggestion where this Helldivers said a mission where you escort supplies like an HD1. Straight up, I love that idea. Now I'm going to show one more. Right here we have Deep Rock Galactic style weapons, heavy arc thrower, heavy guided missile launcher, freeze cannon, portable artillery, and of course minigun. All of those ideas, suggestions are great. All of the comments can be seen here. I appreciate you guys commenting. If you guys want to be featured, all you have to do is comment down below. There's going to be a question I'm going to ask again. If you guys answer it, you'll be featured in the video. It's that easy. I'm just trying to give you guys multiple ways to be featured on the channel and give you guys a shout out. Last but not least, we have the top comments. First starting off with Ninja Strike. Fun theory, what if the monoliths are actually powering up the black hole wormhole, either to make it bigger or to activate it? Maybe they're sending out a distress signal to call in massive invasion. That would explain why they're so heavily defended. Maybe so. And I actually think that's what I was referring to when we talked about the monoliths. The second top comment is by Fixer48. Imagine if these shadow dropped a mutated Hive Lord with the new Illuminates. Yes, and I think this was a comment about the Dark Fluid as well, which would also be insane. Last but not least, we have Imagine Breaker. Forget the stim packs. The supply pack still doesn't give stims to your teammates. Yeah, I know, it sucks, and I believe they're going to fix that. I don't know how soon, but I know that's on their list. Anyway, those are the top 3 comments and the suggestions. If you guys have any thoughts, comments about today's video, feel free to comment down below. I appreciate your support as always, and I'll see you guys in the next one.